So as we get older and move out, we realize a lot of things in our life kind of go as planned in the beginning. But then all of a sudden, after a couple years go by, you kind of realize am I wasting my life? Well, today, guys, I'm going to tell you guys a story about how I felt like I wasted my life in my early years. And I want to tell you what happened and what helped me overcome this feeling. So when I was 20 years old, living in Florida with my parents, I had this feeling of not being able to do enough or not being productive enough because there was a time where the job market in Florida was extremely tough, and this was way before like 2020, and it sucked because I was trying so hard to find jobs, but I was working on my YouTube videos and everything. But even though I was like being productive at home, working on my passions, I felt like I just wasn't doing enough, and that I was just wasting my life because in some ways I felt like that I should have been moved out by now. It was actually a pretty difficult situation too because my older siblings also moved out around 18, and I felt like I was the only one that was pretty late about moving out because even my youngest sister moved out and she was 19, and I was like, am I behind in life? Like, am I really wasting my life not just being at home trying to live off my parents? Because at the end of the day, I did want to live out and move out, but at the time I didn't have anything in order, and my mom and dad actually were encouraging me to stay home. And it's really sad because I wanted more in my life in that situation, but I just didn't know how. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all can relate with this situation too, because I know like you can try so hard to achieve something in life, and all of a sudden it feels like no matter how hard you do that, you'll never achieve something that you really want. And it actually takes a lot longer sometimes. But for some people, man, they just never make it, and they get those thoughts thinking, "Am I really wasting my time?" When it came to my passions when I was younger, I did feel like I was wasting my time on my other channel because it took me about 8 years to really build that channel. But I felt like I was slowly getting views on the channel, but I was never really gradually progressing that I wanted to in those 8 years. And it was really like rough because I remember after about the 8 year mark, I was getting burnt out and I was just questioning it like, fuck, did I really just wait 8 years of my life? And then when I started this channel as a hobby, and then when things take off, I had those thoughts in my back of my head saying, did I really just wait 8 years of my life on the other channel when I could have done this the whole time? But actually, the problem was you did not waste your time at all. The reality is that it takes a long time to progress your futures and to go after your passions. To make something a reality, you have to basically kind of go all in for what you want to do. And sometimes you have to go through some severe growing pains. And I'm not going to lie, it fucking sucks. I did not like it at first, but I remember telling myself, as long as I show up one day, it will pay off. And eventually, it finally did in some ways. Now, I may not be the biggest content creator, but I will say is I am super grateful for this opportunity to happen because I never thought I would still have this opportunity to happen at such a young age still. Now, 27 is not super like young, but it's still relatively young, and I'm pretty glad that I was able to achieve something like this while in my 20s because I don't know how I would have felt if I was in my 30s and still trying to progress for the YouTube channel. I'd still be doing it because I love doing it as a hobby as well, but fuck, and make it a bit harder. There was also years in my life where I was moved out and working really hard, but sometimes I'd be working so damn much that I was not really like going after my passions enough. It felt like I was just wasting so much of my hours for something else to make another company rich. And I felt like I was wasting my life doing that too because it wasn't my passion, and at the end of the day, we all have to pay our bills. Even though I was realistically working while pursuing something on the side, there was times I felt like, oh, what if this never works out? Like, what if maybe one day I just, I give up? But thankfully, I didn't. But I've had those thoughts before, and I will say this: never fucking give up. Even if it's for something that could seem unrealistic. Even if your peers and your family's telling you, oh, you can't do it because it's impossible. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. I'll also never forget the days when I was working at the warehouse job where I was so damn tired all the time, where I felt like I was just existing and not really doing what I wanted to do. I always made time for friends and everything, but there was times where I just felt like, yeah, the time is just kind of going by, and I don't think like something like this will happen while I'm trying to fucking achieve my accomplishments. It was really rough. If you guys are really having this feeling, I will say is in order to overcome it, you just gotta believe in yourself, and not just believe, but you gotta fucking try really hard about changing your mindset. You just got to, and you also just gotta go outside your comfort zone because that's the problem with a lot of people in life is people will dream so hard and they'll just keep dreaming but never execute in action, even if it's something they could realistically do. Because I've seen a lot of friends are like, oh, I want to do this, but I can't do it right now. I'll do it another day. Or they'll say, oh, I'll do this later because right now money can come later. Or, oh, I don't have time. But in reality, we all can make time for it. It's just how bad do you really want it? And my honest opinion about wasting life is you're only truly wasting lives if you're not experiencing opportunities or taking advantage of the opportunities and privileges that are given to you. Because there's a lot of people in life that just don't want to do anything and they just dwell on their problems in their past. And that's not okay either. Because there's so many people, especially my own parents, that were dwelling on their own problems and it really held them back in the future. And I did not want to be like that. So I decided to be my own example. And if you ever did pursue something and you failed, don't worry. Failure is not a stopping point. It's just a lesson for you to learn and then to level up to try again next time. I really hope this message inspires a lot of people because I have inspired a lot of channels and I think it's really cool. And I also thank you guys so much for all the shout outs on the channels and everything. And I really do hope that I can continue to inspire others. And the coolest part about going after your passions and dreams, and even if they don't work out all the time, is at least you tried, because sometimes you'll never know what could have happened if you didn't. Anyways, everybody, thank you guys so much for listening. Whatever you guys do in life, I really do hope you find your success because it's really tough out here, and I do believe that anyone can fucking achieve their accomplishments. Normal people in this society can win. It's just no one really seems to talk about it. It's just a lot more complicated than people think. Also, big life update for y'all. I ended up getting a job interview at the Kansas City airport, and I actually got to apply for the security guard position. And I gotta say is I'm excited because I ended up getting the interview and I got the job, and I'm super fucking pumped because that's what happens when you don't give up. Anyways, everybody, you all take care and I'll see you all in the next one.